For episode 85, App of the Week, I am demonstrating Google Lens. In my never-to-be-humble opinion, the Google Lens is probably one of those most important apps that one could have on his or her phone. In the same breath, this app happens to be underused and underrated by most users because people are not familiar with the Google Lens. Therefore, this brief demonstration is intended at showing you a general overview of what Google Lens is and some of the things that the Google Lens can do. For today's demonstration, I'll be utilizing my Pixel 6 Pro running Android 13 Beta 4 and TalkBack 13.0. For speech services, I am using the Google Speech Services. I am on my home screen now and will navigate my way to the icon for the Google Lens, which is found on the search bar at the bottom of your screen below the dock area. So it's the icon to the right, bottom right, to the right of the voice search icon. I'll now move my finger to the right.
Google Lens button.
And there it is. I'll go ahead and tap here to activate it.
Google on top, Pixel Launcher on bottom. Search with any image. Google Lens uses what your camera sees to find results only while the app is open. Google Lens is not all-knowing and is not always right when recognizing certain objects, text selections, or other things.
Upon opening up the app, we're told Google Lens is not all-knowing. Of course, Google Lens cannot be all-knowing. Only God can be all-knowing. So you have that disclaimer right there at the get-go.
Privacy policy and terms of service.
And below all of that, we have something that says
Open Photo Gallery button.
Open Photo Gallery. I'll tap here.
Google Lens. Search with your camera, row 1, in grid, 3 rows, 4 columns.
Upon tapping on Open Photo Gallery, we are here on this screen, and the first item we heard here is search with your phone. And that also shows a little preview there of the camera at the top. And below that,
Images, row 2.
We have images, and there's a button below there.
Image, button, row
that
3,
says
column
image
1.
button. And that's because there's already an image that I had captured earlier or is seeing it from my phone from a receipt that I had sent out, and therefore automatically it's kind of seeing that. But now the most important thing here is to go back near the top in the middle where it says
Search with your camera, row 1.
Search with your camera. You need to tap there, and that's where we need to tap. I will therefore tap here. Upon tapping on that, now we have the full view of the camera. So the camera is now showing us whatever we're pointing it at. And now let me show you what we have. Near the top part of the phone, we have these buttons, starting from the top left.
Close, button, out of grid.
We have close. So if I tap here, it will close out the app. Moving to the right, toward the top right corner, we've got
Turn flash on, button.
Turn flash on. Moving to the right more.
More options, button.
And that's on the top right corner. There's the more options in there. And I do want to mention here that there's no such a thing as settings. So tapping on the more options is not going to take you to where you could find something called settings. Instead, all that you'll find here would be things like feedback, terms and condition, and donate your lens images and things like that. That's all that you'll find in the more options. At the bottom, however, we have some buttons. And we actually have 2 rows of buttons. The first row only has 2 items. To the left, we got
Select an image from gallery.
Select an image from gallery, which means if I tap here, I could go choose something from my pictures or whatever and have it described or tell me as to what it is. To the right of that is an all-important item, which is the shutter button.
Shutter.
And this is the one that one will tap on to capture pictures and things like that. Now I'm going back to the bottom row, and this is the one we got all the different modes here. We've got like 5 or 7 tabs. The first tab here on the left, starting from the left, is
Switch to translate mode in list.
Switch to translate mode. In other words, if I had captured something and I want to translate it into some other language, I'll tap on that to do the translation and things like that. Going to the right, we've got
Switch to text mode.
Switch to text mode. This is where you could do things like OCR, and by the way, this supports handwritten material, so you could actually capture material in handwritten format and have it OCR it for you into readable text. Let's move to the next item.
Switch to search mode selected.
Next one is the search mode, and that's selected by default because on the previous screen we had tapped on that search with your phone. Therefore, that is the default. Moving to the right,
Switch to homework mode.
Switch to homework mode. If you have a student and they're struggling with math or something like that, they could use this actually to help them with their math problems and things like that. Let's move to the next.
Switch to shopping mode. Showing items 1 to 5 of 7.
Shopping mode. A lot of us do shopping from home these days. And so this mode would actually make it possible for you to shop for things. You could take a picture of something and it will show you where you could buy those things and gives you different prices, so you choose the price that's right for you. Moving to the next item.
Switch to places mode. Showing items 5 to 7 of 7.
Places mode. This is when you can shoot a picture of a building, most especially public buildings, and it will tell you what that building is and gives you all that necessary information about that business or that building and things like that. So this mode would come in handy when you're out and about or touring a place you've never been before and you're seeing these buildings and you want to know something about those buildings. You could use this feature to get information about such buildings. Next item, which is last but not the least, probably my favorite.
Switch to dining mode.
Dining mode. Grub. I'm talking food here. So if you like food, if you're like me and you kind of like your food, this is a good one. In other words, I could go to that dining mode and look for food there, or I could take a picture of some food. It'll let me know what it is and where I could find such food if they are near me and things like that. I'm not going to go into all of these, but I just want to show us maybe a couple of these, most especially the text tab, and then also we'll look at the shopping tab. So I'll now tap on the switch to text mode.
Switch to text mode.
Here is switch to text mode, and I'll tap here to activate.
Text. Selected. Showing items 1 to 4 of 7.
I have switched to the text mode, and now I'll point it to some text. I got that Baha'i book that I got here that I use in demonstrating text now and then. So I'm going to stand up a little bit so my voice may be a little bit away from the mic, but I'm going to stand up and try to capture that. The one thing to bear in mind here is that it does not have like a guidance where it tells you move your phone left or right or up, that kind of thing. We don't have that. So you want to make sure that you actually put down the phone in the middle of the page and slowly lift it up so you have a balance, a good balance of where the page is and making sure it's getting all those corners. Therefore, I am going to do that. All right. Okay, let's see here. Now, I'm going to tap on that shadow button because that is the most important thing, and that will take the picture of this page.
Shutter. Out of list. Looking for result. Search this area.
There we go. I tapped on the shadow button. Now that I have taken a picture, if I put my finger down near the top.
The next activity for this class is a game called Giants.
I put my finger down. So it's talking about what it has just captured. Now, we don't have anything there near the top necessarily, but now at the bottom, we got some new buttons. And I'll show you what we got.
Text found in image, collapsed.
And going down.
Detected. Text, shopping. Places. Dining. Homework. Did you find these results useful?
And then below that,
Select all, button, in list.
on the left, I got select all, and to the right of that, I've got
Listen, button.
listen, and then to the right of that, I have that either yes or no of the question that we had above that says, did I find these results informative or not?
Yes, these results were useful. Button, out of list.
Or,
No, these results were not useful. Button.
now let's go to that listen. If I tap on that listen,
Listen, button.
Melt and his pride and arrogance disappeared. Unfortunately the charcoal was gone, but EWOM Baha rose to go. The merchant also
now I'm going to
rose,
put my finger
entreating him
down
with
and
great
tap on the
respect and
pause,
honor.
which that
The
button has
next
turned
activity
into.
for this class is a game called Giants.
Detected. Pause, button,
Then
in
they walk
list.
from
Resume, button.
I tapped on pause and then it turns back into resume. Now let's go to the left of that, which would still be the select all.
Select all, button.
Let's go ahead and tap here to select all the text.
Looking for result. Detected. Text, shopping. Places. Dining.
Now that I have tapped on select all, that select all now turns into,
Copy text, button.
it turned into copy text. And then to the right,
Copy to computer, button.
copy to computer. In other words, if I tap on this, it'll copy it to a chosen computer that I have that is connected to the same network that this phone is connected to. So in other words, you want to make sure that the computer you want to copy this to has to be on the same network that your phone is connected to. So in other words, the Wi-Fi that your phone is connected to also has to be the same Wi-Fi that the computer you want to copy it to is connected to. I have two items or two computers on my network at the moment, and if I tap there, I could choose whichever one of those I would like to copy it to. And once you find that and tap on the chosen computer, then it will send it to your computer. And once you go back to that computer, all you need to do is simply open up an editor on that computer and do Control V as in Victor to paste, and you'll have this same exact text that was scanned here. To the right of that, we got,
Listen, button.
we have that listen. And then to the right,
Translate, button. Showing items 1 to 4 of 5.
translate. And the last item there would be
Search, button.
search. Now let's go ahead and tap on translate and see if we could translate it into some other language.
Translate, button. Translate. Navigate up, button, out of list.
Upon tapping on translate, we're now on a different screen and it has my text there, but near the top we've got,
English, detected, in list.
it says English detected. If we tap here, it will take us to where we could choose a language. I'll tap here to show you what I'm talking about.
Translate. Translate from, out of list.
So we hear translate from, and then we have
All languages.
all languages, and below all languages we've got
Afrikaans.
Afrikaans.
Download Afrikaans offline translation file, button.
And if I don't have that language pack, as you can see, I'll need to download that in order to be able to have that translation take place.
Albanian.
Albanian.
Download Albanian offline. Amharic. Arabic. Download Arabic offline Armenian.
And on it goes. So it supports a bunch of languages here. And so, for instance, if your language is not, or is not near the top because it's alphabetical, on the top right corner, there's a search. So for instance, I'm going to search for Spanish.
Search button. Translate from 3 period, edit box.
Now I'm going to tap Spanish or just SP.
S.
I got S.
Showing
Now I'm
items
going
1
to
to 6.
type letter P.
P. Showing item 1 of 1.
It says showing item 1 of 1. So I'll put my finger near the top.
Spanish, in list.
There's Spanish, and I'll tap here.
Keyboard hidden. Translate. Spanish, in list. English US QWERTY keyboard hidden. Showing item 1 of 2.
Melt and his pride and arrogance disappeared. Unfortunately the charcoal was gone, but a Wombaha rose to go. The merchant also rose and treated him with great respect and honor. The next activity for this class is a
And
game
there
called
it is, written
Giants.
in
Two children
Espanol.
stand side by side and the left leg the
I'm
other
going to
child.
tap
Then they walk
twice
from one
with
design
2 fingers
variations.
to stop.
3.
There we go. I just paused that reading or that readout. That's how you go about the translation. You can also select a particular word and do a lookup or do a pronunciation and things like that. And that's it about the text recognition. I'll now go back.
Saved button.
Now that I went back to the previous screen, we hear it say save. And that's found near the top left corner. And if we move to the right hand,
Account and settings.
there's account and settings. And then going to the bottom part, starting from the left,
Spanish button.
there's Spanish there on the left, going right,
Swap languages button.
swap languages, and then below that, there's a row starting from the left.
Conversation button.
I could turn into conversation, and to the right of that,
Start dictation button.
start dictation, and on the right corner,
Camera button.
and there's camera button. If I tap on that, it'll take me to a new camera translation or whatever. I'm not going into that.
Looking for result.
Now I'll go back to the main UI of the app where we have our scan.
Oh God. Rear this.
Now I'm going to close out of this. So I hit the back button again. So I'm now out of that scan and I'm still in the main UI of the app with the camera view. The next item I want to show would be the shopping mode. I do have a bag of gummy bears here, or actually this time it's gummy worms, one of my favorites. Prefer the bears though, but I could not find it, so this one will substitute. I'm going to capture a picture of this, so I'm going to tap on shopping.
Switch to shopping mode. Showing items 5 to 7 of 7.
There is my switch to shopping mode. I'll tap here to activate.
Play shopping. Showing items 3 to 7 of 7.
And you can feel some vibration when it sees something. And then I'm going to tap on that important button, which is the shutter button.
Shutter, out of list.
There we go.
Looking for results. Left edge of search area, left -5%, slider.
There we are. Now put my finger down toward the bottom where the results are.
Bottom edge of search area. Great value gummy worms, candy.
There we go. That's my result. And if I scroll down, it will show me where I could find those things and their prices.
Looking for results, collapsed. Image number 1 for great value gummy worms, in list. Visual matches, out of list. $5, in list.
$5.
Walmart.com, great value gummy worms chewy candy, 48 ounces, view 2 offers.
And if I move my finger to the right, because this is arranged in rows,
$18.
there's one here that says $18. And if you move below that, it tells you where it's coming from.
Amazon.com, Jolly Rancher Fruity Bash hard candy in resealable bag, 3 bag, view 2 offers.
All right. If I scroll up or scroll down some more,
$6.
and I move my finger down to know where that is coming from.
Amazon.com, Jolly Rancher 1 bag Misfits 2-in-1 gummies 2 flavor candy, green apple plus cherry, blue raspberry plus watermelon, strawberry plus lemon 3.25 ounces, 21, view 2 offers.
And to the right of that,
$30.
and let's see where that's coming from.
Amazon.com, Jolly Rancher hard candy, fruity bash.
So as you can see, it matches that to the fact that this is a candy and shows us the different stores that you could find that or find alternatives for and how much those things would be. And that's how you go about using Google Lens, which is a very important app. If you've not been using Google Lens, maybe this will help you to start getting to use Google Lens.